We are currently making our way down this track to a fish farm. We have our fish farmer in the back, Nahurida Michael. This is the exciting bit because we're about to buy some fish for the first time. So just need to navigate this shady looking lane. Always get a bit worried because I wouldn't say I'm the best driver in the world. And this car as well, had a few issues with it. So like, what if we break down right here or do something silly with the driving? But so far, so good. Yeah, hopefully we'll see the farm shortly and then we'll see where we're at with the fish. So that in the distance, I think it's Rukungiri, next to those hills. Oh yeah, no, actually, maybe over there. Can you see the masts? Where are they on camera? I can't see them. I can see them. No, they're quite faded, but I can see them. I've lost my group. I think. Oh yeah, here we are, up here. So we're not too far away from the town. This farm apparently had stocked 500 fish, but sold 80, he said. So he's probably got 420, but of course mortalities. And as we've experienced, I think there's quite a high mortality rate when you stock at a lower size. So I was speaking to someone who's an expert on this, Abdullah Napul. Shout out to you if you're listening. He used to work for quite a large hatchery in Uganda for decades. He really knows his stuff. And he was saying to me we should really be stocking at 10 grams. And the industry standard, I would say, is like 1 gram fish. So you get a huge amount of mortality, I think, between 1 and 10 grams. And you can't, those types, they're so small that you're not going to see anything if they go, because the bones are just so tiny. So anything that rots, you're not going to see. If bigger fish, you see the bones, right? And then predation, that type of thing. So because that's potentially one of the that's potentially how one of the factors, I think, with the loss that we've had, and he would have a similar issue because he would have stocked at that size. The reason farmers stock at 1 gram, I think probably one major one and one minor one. The major one is price. It's cheaper to buy a fish at 1 gram because the hatcheries not to pay for them. So farmers really like a low price. So that's how they do it. And the second one, which is a bit more minor, is probably just the transport thing. So it's harder to transport bigger fish because they need more oxygen. So you need to pack them in lesser quantities. It just gets messy. So I think that's another reason. But I think for what we're trying to do, I'm going to really push to stock tilapia at 10 grams with our farmers, because we're within half an hour, I'd say, up to an hour, 10 minutes, 20 minutes from farmers. So we're delivering them. They're not very long as they're being transported, and they get a better survival rate, and that's better for the farmer because then they're not wasting, and it's easier to predict. So that's, I think, what we're going to try and aim for going ahead, and certainly for our ponds we'll do that. There's a couple of ways that we are going to try and do that, I think, but that's future plans. Anyway, this is we're headed towards the pond. I think I can see them in the distance there. You can see this is very typical of basically former wetland. So you can see just that line of reeds underneath the eucalyptus, and it's obviously slopes down. You probably can't tell that as much, but we're walking the slope all the way down. The water would accumulate here. So just upstream of that, they've put the ponds. But this is what happens, unfortunately. Eucalyptus gets planted. That eucalyptus is actually a drought tree, so it does very well in drought but it's because it's so good at absorbing water. So when it in drought places finds the little water it sucks it up really quickly. But in a swamp place like this, wetland, it just grows really quickly, which is why people want it as a cash crop. Building materials, a bit of charcoal, that type of thing. But of course, not good for the swamp because it quickly takes all the water that's available and dries it out. So yeah, this is really typical, and that's always a bit sad if you like nature. People have got to make a living, right? there's a bit of a balance I think needs to be done in how it's managed. You can see that, you know, this whole point about it being wetland, because the bushes are still here. This is sort of, it's not papyrus, I don't know what species it is, but it's the stuff that grows next to papyrus. And I can feel underfoot, it's definitely much squelchier. There we go. And you may not be able to hear it, but it's sort of starting to get a bit of water potential coming up. And here we go, this is where the lowest point of this little gentle sloping valley. You can see here where there had been water. A bit under the still. Yeah. You can see it's mud, but there's a bit of water here. This is probably the actual lowest point. This middle part here, yeah, there's a bit of a flow. So that's why there's a little bridge. And so this is where the fish farm is. Right, let's go and have a look at it, shall we? And this is the pond. Stuck to fire resource here, and then there's another pond being constructed just behind Humphrey. Let me show it to you. So this is, I think, this is some of the tools they would use to make bricks. There's a brick pile there, and then they shape it on top. That's normally upright, that board, and then they shape it on top of that, make it into, there's like a mould with the shape, make it out of the mud, clay, then you stack them in little piles, and then you dry them, then after a while then you bake them. So, but this is being half constructed, so you can see there's like bits of water here, so he's not quite finished again. So I guess when he's finished making more bricks, I'll have 2 ponds. But yeah, this is like a very typical fish pond, I would say, for a smallholder. It's not very deep, the colour of the water's it's brown, which is the clay, but you want it to be green, because then you're not having to feed your fish. But I doubt this gentleman feeds his fish, so we'll ask. Looks like he's been doing a bit of recent work. Yeah, so look, this is how he's, rather than have pipes, he's just put a channel in, and then put this bit of netting to catch any fish that might want to come out, and it drains back into the former swamp. So you can see it's a bit more swampy here, right? But it won't be for long, because there's a bunch of holes over there. They're all going to plant trees. So, yeah, let's get to it. These are some beehives that the gent's got on the side. I'm not going to get too close, because you can see them actually. Anyway, I'm not going to get too close because for obvious reasons. And this is so I can put it in, and I've gone in, and the depth isn't very great. You can see it's pretty shallow. So we'll just see what we get. I doubt may not be everything we need, but it's good for the farmer, good for us. Very exciting. It's great. If we got a fish in that net, we just saw a bunch, well, handful, jump over. But that's what we like. The farmer's looking happy, which is good. So now we just need to weigh them. I don't think we've got that many, but that's about expected, I think. But, it's better than nothing. And he'll then look to restock, which unfortunately we can't quite help him with, but we'll get in there. We'll have a look and see what we've got. What he's doing, he's very good at this type of thing, so he's just come in and we can see the water's not coming out very much, so he's digging it out, digging the channel out, make sure we get what we need. Because to be honest, you do get fish hiding in the mud, so I think that's what he's looking for.
Tukapoja kutampa ibeka ikakuli kuniva kunu Kamera yo. Manyapa ipunjiji.
I'll tell the guy, I think that we should get a pipe, because that's the best practice would be to put a pipe in, so then you don't have to worry about this. The pipe is definitely lower than the lowest point of the water, it comes out quite quickly. The issue, I doubt the reason it's probably not got one is because of the cost. This of course doesn't cost anything, just labour. Pipe costs a bit of money. We're just walking back with Michael and Humphrey, and I feel a bit sorry for Michael because we sampled but we didn't get as many fish as we wanted, so I think we got 26. But I think he's had the same issue that we had, and predation and smaller fish size when you stock them, so you end up with mortalities. But we're going to carry on working together, and hopefully next time we'll give Michael a lot more money for his fish. But that's it, and it helps us, helps him, and we'll keep going with farmers and buying fish. So happy that we've started the process of buying fish from farmers. That's very good. So it's a shame it wasn't more. So I just thought I'd reflect a bit on our fish farmer for Michael. I just feel so sad for him. Humphrey was telling me he was devastated, and you couldn't tell because he was just smiling away, and I don't speak the local language very well, but it's just, I think it brings home to me just the importance of what we're trying to do. You know, if we can help him by buying his fish, we can give him a better quality feed, better quality fingerling, so it grows quicker, and we supply it at a bigger size. We harvest sooner, so there's less time for the fish to die. He's getting, you know, reduce this cost of feeds and really make a big difference to him, because it's just really tough. Like, I really wanted to help the guy, and we're not quite. We are helping him, but we haven't got everything established yet to do that. So anyway, I wasn't being cavalier earlier. It's just a bit tricky. Obviously, he's in the background, and you're just feeling really sorry for him. So, right, let me get on to what we need to be doing.